We here in the basement love Oscar season. And as usual, this episode was recorded before the Oscar broadcast and released after. But we can't not talk about the Oscars, even though we don't know exactly who won.
We can't?
I think we can.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd like to congratulate
Birdman
on winning Best Picture. For Best Director,
Alejandro Inarritu
won for
Birdman.
Good job, Alejandro Inarritu, for Best Director.
There was a lot of competition for Best Supporting Actor, and we are very happy to say that
J.K. Simmons.
won.
I mean, come on, J.K. Simmons.
Of course,
J.K. Simmons.
should have won.
And the award for Foreign Film goes to Ida.
For Best Actress this year, the lovely Julianne Moore took the prize.
And Best Supporting Actress, Patricia Arquette. Well done. But no surprises with Best Actor went Eddie Redmayne.
In conclusion, Craig,
The Oscars were good.
why aren't you talking? I don't understand.
Oh, I thought that's...
A little weird.
I've got a bunch of movies that I've never seen before. You don't know what they are. Every episode, I'm going to spring one on you. It might be good. It might be bad. We'll watch it and talk about it. Welcome to the basement.
February is not only the month for lovers, it's also Black History Month. We have yet to watch a film by an African-American filmmaker on this show. That will change tonight. The history of black cinema is a rich tapestry, a kente cloth, if you will, that stretches all the way back to the silent era and the films of Oscar Micheaux. Since then, filmmakers such as Gordon Parks, Melvin Van Peebles, John Singleton, Charles Burnett, and Spike Lee have all brought the black experience to the silver screen. Will we be watching a film by any of those directors tonight? No, we will not. We will be watching Car Wash.
Killer of Sheep wasn't available, so we get Car Wash.
Released in 1976, directed by Michael Schultz, this film features a plethora of stand-up comedians, such as Professor Irwin Corey, Franklin Ajayi, the legendary George Carlin, and for his third appearance on our show, Richard Pryor.
It keeps coming back.
That's right, he's going to get into that Hall of Fame yet. The screenplay was by Joel Schumacher. Now, this may seem like a frivolous choice for a film honoring Black History Month, but it should be noted that the late great Roger Ebert praised this film, calling it a wash and wax mash.
While Leonard Maltin said it's often very funny.
And Car Wash was nominated for the Golden Palm Award at Cannes.
What?
Yeah, so don't hate on Car Wash. It's got a little bit of a pedigree.
I initially recoil at Joel Schumacher, but you have to remember the guy did Lost Boys. And I don't know if the movie's good, but I loved it back when I was a teenager.
Me too, yeah.
That was the best.
It's very important to clean our cars, but it's also important to clean ourselves.
If I have to. Oh, it's fancy soap.
Nerd soap.
Nerd?
I won those as a prize at a nerd convention many years ago, and now I pass them on to you.
Thank you.
The pink one, I believe, is bacon soap. It's supposed to look like a slab of bacon. And the green one is a gelatinous cube. It's a D&D monster. If you look close, there's a little piece of treasure in there.
But I could be trapped in it myself if I know my mythology?
No, it's soap, Craig.
Okay. The treasure's very close to the top, so I don't need to clean myself very much.
Pull that bumper up to the old leather couch as we get out our rags and our buckets to watch Car Wash.
At the car wash. Scabba the beat at the car wash. Do you want to wax? I don't know. I don't know the words to the song.
No, you don't.
I don't know it.
Hey, LA, it's a brand new day.
Oh, yeah.
You want to get down, you got to get up.
Whoa. You don't need to literally get up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Pointer Sisters. Damn, I didn't know the Neutron Dance was going to be involved. Day begins at the Deluxe Car Wash.
Lonnie shows up first. Lonnie's the hardest worker, he's a very serious man. Hippo is a large man.
I think this might be Gene the Dancing Machine, for those of you who are Gong Show fans.
There's Floyd and Lloyd. They're entertainers. TC, who's wearing a fancy suit and who has a fancy afro.
Lindy is the flamboyant one in the crew.
Mr. B, the owner of the car wash, arrives with his son, Irwin. Meanwhile, a woman is in a taxi with a cab driver. Let's call him George, shall we? She doesn't have enough money to pay the fare, so she sneaks out. Cab driver isn't too happy, and he spends most of the movie looking for her.
You didn't by any chance happen to see a tall, blonde, black girl, did you, around here?
No, but I have that fantasy too.
Dwayne arrives late, and he's given a dressing down by Earl, the manager. Dwayne says, "My name's not Dwayne, it's Abdullah." He's a Muslim. Scruggs, a cowboy?
Token white guy.
He fooled around on his wife last night, and now he thinks that he's got the clap. 70s problems. The car wash is open for business, and let me tell you, those fellas wash the hell out of those cars.
And the boss don't mind sometimes if you act a fool at the car wash.
So I think so far the boss does mind when you act a fool at the car wash.
After school's over, Walter White's gonna show up for his part-time job.
Mr. B wants Irwin to balance the books because he's a business student, but Irwin is also a Maoist.
He wants to be down there with the proletariats.
Calvin comes by on his skateboard. He's a precocious little kid.
Play the streets, Cal.
Your mama?
What did you say about his mama?
What are you talking about, yo mama?
Calvin!
Irwin gets all dressed up in a car wash uniform and he goes down, he's gonna wash some cars. And the rest of the fellas take this opportunity to mess with him. With water. I knew a guy once who got killed from car wash hazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's no joke.
Stop that horsing around, huh?
You're not supposed to care if they act a fool.
He scuttles right back to the safety of the offices.
There's a contest on the radio for JB's Disco Dance Party.
All you have to do is be the first caller when you hear disco dance.
And TC really wants to go to that. He doesn't even have a quarter for the payphone. No more characters, please! A panicked woman with a sick child arrives at the car wash. She's from Beverly Hills.
She's got a car phone.
That means she's rich and no one's going to like her.
And a boy who's puking all over everything.
She needs to get into that ladies' room, but what's-her-face from the cab has been in there all day.
She's really freaking out about her life right now.
And she leaves. Pretty soon a giant gold Cadillac shows up. When giant cars roamed the earth. Who should step out of that?
But the biggest preacher in Los Angeles, Daddy Rich.
Well, praise this car, honey. Thank you, miss.
And he also does a little bit of preaching to the folks.
Abdullah has some choice words for Daddy Rich.
This is one nigga you ain't fooling, brother. I mean, I'm hip to the game you running down on these people here.
And you don't believe in God.
Not your guy.
Theological debate down at the car wash, yeah.
Daddy Rich, he doesn't do the fighting on his own because he's got some backup singers to do it for him. Abdullah gets the Mr. Big Stuff routine and he gets chased off. Daddy Rich wins. Daddy Rich always wins.
Not a bad role for Richard Pryor. He just had to work for a day on car wash. Probably bought him enough cocaine for an hour.
Yes, and now he's on the box. 30 years later. Geronimo. Geronimo. He's the tall guy with the mouse hat.
Why is he wearing that hat?
Why shouldn't he wear the hat, Matt? Because when you're washing cars, nothing serves you better than a cardboard hat. He's got a friend, Tuco. Tuco likes Marsha, or at least he likes spying on Marsha when she's peeing. He gets Geronimo's mouse hat and is like, "Oh, look at me!" Oh, and it's like, and she's like screaming, and she eventually takes it out on Geronimo. Geronimo gets his revenge on Tuco by putting a whole bunch of spicy peppers into Tuco's churro.
TC is in love with Mona, a waitress.
Mona doesn't like him because he doesn't have any money.
He wants to take her to that disco dance concert. That's why he's so desperate to get the tickets.
It's time for
Disco dance.
But he just can't do it. Lonnie is visited by his parole officer. He's not too happy about that. He did his time. He doesn't need to be bothered at work.
I'm just doing my job.
I'm also lonely and bored.
So don't you come around here no more, you understand?
Hey! Don't come around here no more. Justin's girlfriend comes and tells him he needs to go back to school. Justin, you need to graduate from Cooley High. And he says, I'm not going back to school. And she says, well, I'm not going to marry you.
Goodbye, Justin.
Damn, she's a cold-ass businesswoman. Turns out the woman from the cab is a prostitute.
Therefore, you best stay away from that hooker.
Thanks, Calvin. Finally, she gets to take her. It's Hippo.
Hippo and the Hooker. That was an Aesop fable, wasn't it?
Yes.
Irwin comes down, he's reading from his little red book again, and Abdullah is sick of it. Calls him a poser. And then Lindy dresses down Abdullah.
I am more man than you'll ever be. and more woman than you'll ever get.
Someone called the Pop Bottle Bomber.
Leaving pop bottles filled with bomb materials inside it. Who should show up but a guy who looks just like the description of the pop bottle bomber? And what he needs now is a pop bottle. Oh no.
And he runs into the bathroom. They're like, oh my god, he's making a bomb in our bathroom.
TC and Hippo are like, we got a lot of freaking out to do here. We gotta chase this guy down. He's gonna blow up the car wash.
He grabs the bomb from the guy.
Hey, stop that man. They tackle him. The bottle flies up in the air. Everyone knows that this is the end. This is the end of the deluxe car wash, and the bottle smashes on the ground.
It's piss. Piss.
Turns out he just needed something to pee in to take to the doctor's office.
It took me 2 days to go. You see, I had this operation.
The pop bottle bandit roams free.
Abdullah gets fired. He's been messing around too much, missing work. He's out. TC wins the tickets! He goes to Mona and says, I know you don't like me, but if you don't come to me with this dance, I'll stop coming around. Inexplicably, Mona decides to go with him to the dance. Quitting time! Floyd and Lloyd get dressed up for their audition. We're off to the minstrel show.
I've been thinking.
Subplot number 84.
Resolved.
Dutiful Lonnie is counting down the drawer. It's after nightfall, and he hears something outside.
Abdullah comes with a gun to rob the car wash. He's gonna get back at Mr. B for firing him.
What you gonna do with it? You gonna buy you a revolution? You gonna solve all your problems?
Just give me the money, man.
He is taking acting a fool a bit too far, but Lonnie convinces him not to do it. Turns out Abdullah's not angry after all. He's just sad and frustrated.
But every day I have to come here and watch this cloud show, man.
Night falls on the deluxe car wash.
What will happen the next day? Who knows?
Wheel in the sky keeps on turning. I just can't take it coming here, watching this clown show.
Well, I had a pretty good time watching the clown show that is Car Wash.
That's a fun place to work, the car wash.
Oh man, it's a blast. It's a
Yeah.
non-stop party.
I know, I like laughing, but I think I'd be all laughed out by like 9:30 a.m.
They just laughed at everything.
Yeah.
This movie has so much plot, and at the same time, not enough plot.
It doesn't have a thimbleful of plot, but there's so many stories going on.
Well, sure. It's like a broken window of a movie.
yeah.
All the pieces are just scattered around.
Yes. This might be a pretty high comparison, but it's Altman. Slice of life, urban comedy in the style of Robert Altman.
Really reminds me of Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
Nashville had more of a story and more connecting threads.
Oh, yeah. They gave more time to each character. You have at least 20 characters in this movie. Everyone has their own little storyline, but you really don't have much to latch onto as far as what their lives might be like outside of the car wash.
Garrett Morris, I have no idea who he was. He was arrested,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Beyond Altman, Do the Right Thing definitely
Oh, yeah.
goes back to this movie.
Well, there are lots of movies that do that. The Barbershop franchise.
I've never seen one of these movies where it's such a localized movie. It never leaves the car wash lot and the diner next door. That's all you get to see. Nashville has an entire city of 1 million people.
Do the Right Thing has a neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. MASH has the Korean War. Well, this is just one little slice there.
Really happy to see Bill Duke in this. He played Abdullah. He's one of my favorite character actors of all
Really?
time. I wish he would do more movies.
What else has he been in?
He was in Predator. He was in The Limey. Man, what a waste of George Carlin. The guy has hardly done any movies.
Richard Pryor, you know, he has one scene, but it's a big showboating scene.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
He does get to have some of that Pryor flair that he's known for. But Carlin, not much to do.
This film has drawn a lot of fire for its portrayal of Lindy, the gay character.
Honey, baseball is not my game.
But after seeing this, I think that character is kind of progressive for the time.
Yeah, he stands up for himself. He's very proud.
He has dignity.
Yeah.
And I don't see much of a difference between Lindy and, say, someone like Sophia, the transsexual character from Orange is the New Black.
Also, like the characters on Orange is the New Black, they all wear orange.
There you go.
Nothing is resolved in this movie. Absolutely nothing. There are a couple of things that look like they're about to be resolved, and they say,
We'll talk about all that stuff tomorrow.
Let's not even talk about it.
It's very important that you and I rap.
Please, talk later.
Sometimes there is no resolution. This is the Waiting for Godot of car wash movies. If you worked at a car wash, what would be your thing? What would be your little Your little hook.
I would be a poet, and I would leave poems in the cars.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. And you?
I suppose I probably would be like an aspiring stand-up comedian.
Oh.
I'd be trying out material on my fellow car wash workers, and they would tell me that it stinks.
You would just be the bad comedian.
No, but see, I wouldn't be a bad comedian, because I would end up at the end of the movie, I would have a big shot on stage, and I would kill.
That would be a resolution. There are no resolutions at the car wash. Lloyd and Floyd have to leave the car wash to be discovered.
That's right. Once they leave the car wash, they stop existing.
That's right.
And the people who come to the car wash, they just like wink into existence, and they have backstories and memories. And outside of the car wash, it's like Dark City.
Everyone's going to wake up doing a different job tomorrow.
That's right.
The pros of the movie, I did like how they used the radio as kind of, this is the rest of the city.
The movie's a lot of fun. I was never bored by it.
Yeah, it's kooky. Get home from school, flip on the TV, and it's like, oh, car wash is on again, and you just watch it.
This is definitely a movie, you could come in at any point in the movie, and you'd instantly be up to speed. Like,
yes.
It's nothing like, oh, I don't know who this guy is or what his motivations or desires are. Yes, you do.
I was expecting the movie to be dirtier. I was expecting...
Yeah.
I was expecting there to be a lot of swearing. Was there swearing? I don't notice it anymore.
There's a little bit.
I was expecting, it's definitely breasts.
And there was very little of it.
But it was kind of like sex as opposed to boing, boing, boing.
Final thoughts on Car Wash.
It was a movie that's always been around as long as I remember movies. And I never thought I'd watch it, but you proved me wrong.
As I will continue to do here in the basement. If you haven't seen Car Wash, check it out. It's fun. You can do other things while you're watching it.
Lots of things.
Well, why don't you drive on over to our website, welcometothebasementshow.com. You can see all of our episodes, and there's a PayPal donation button. You can donate to support this show. This is a thing that people do.
And you can too.
Even if it's a few dollars, it still helps. Here are some people who have done just that. Mark, who says, love the show and look forward to a great 2015. Joel, Paige, Zoe, who says, give yourselves, Tona and Ernesto, big hugs from me. David, who says, thank you for providing such amazing content for both my past self and my current self.
Wait until we get to your future self.
And Darcy, who says, I'm donating in honor of my husband Ryan's 30th birthday. Happy birthday, Ryan.
Happy birthday, Ryan.
And I can't forget our monthly donors. These people have set up monthly rolling donations, and you can do that at welcometothebasementshow.com. Corey, Martha, Patricia, Stephanie, Edward, Jason, Stephanie, Lee, George, Patrick, Joe, Steve, Alexander, Michael, Sierra, and Michael. Thank you all. We've got some fan art here. This is from Matthew Albanese. The only thing I object to here is that I'm wearing a polo shirt, something I would never wear. I don't like them. And for those of you who enjoyed the Thou Tube joke on the last episode, Wayne Dorrington created that graphic, and he actually created a far more elaborate graphic. Here it is. That's a whole illuminated manuscript page.
Yes.
Very impressive, Wayne, and you can go to our Facebook page and check that out if you want to study it in more detail, which I know you do.
And while you're there, like us on the Facebook.
And now it's time for Seen It, man!
Seen It!
Is that Mr. B?
I'm Mr. B. That's exactly what I was doing, yes.
Seen It is a part of the show where we read your comments and suggestions for movies to watch on the show, but we can't because we've seen them.
Them's the rules.
Olivia Cooper writes, Best Nightcrawler, Seen It.
Seen It.
This is a very impressive performance from Jake Gyllenhaal. He's a very creepy, opportunistic man. He gets so deep into that character, he almost physically transforms himself. He's nearly unrecognizable in this movie.
I think he lost quite a bit of weight for it to make himself look more reptilian, and I like an actor who's not afraid to get ugly for a role. Very networky and Taxi Driver type feel about the movie. Perrin Nighthawk writes, have you guys watched The Double with Jesse Eisenberg? A very dark and bleak dystopian film with some comedy thrown in. Seen it.
Seen it, yes.
It's good, but not great. It's almost got too much style. It's like oppressively stylistic.
I am not a fan of Jesse Eisenberg. I've said this before. I feel like he gives the exact same performance every time, with the exception of The Social Network, which he was quite good in. But this role is very well suited to his skill set.
I really look forward to more work from the director, Richard Ayoade. I am a huge fan of his. As a comedian, I think he's getting comedy lessons from God. He's so good.
He's brilliant. He's brilliant.
This is a very dark and bleak movie, and it feels a lot like Brazil, feels a lot like Franz Kafka. It's a good time.
Alexander Hauk writes, I am a huge fan of Simon Pegg, but I was very disappointed with A Fantastic Fear of Everything. I'm with you, buddy. Seen it.
Not seen it.
You never will, because it's a terrible movie, and it's just On paper, it's a really good idea. This author has all these fears and phobias, but basically all of his fears are a manifestation of the fact that he can't write. He's blocked. And so that is a great premise for a movie. But so much of the movie is just this very broadly drawn caricature of a scared man. He's very physically ugly, so it's very unpleasant to watch. He walks around in these gross underwear all the time. In the middle of the movie, there's this long, stupid scene where he doesn't know how to use a laundromat. I could relate to this character at the beginning, and now I could care less.
Marcus Jones asks if we've seen Obvious Child. Seen it.
Seen it.
I wanted it to be better.
I don't think it's a great movie. I think it's a great performance from Jenny Slate, and it really shows that she can act.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's based on a true story, if it's based on someone's actual life, but so many of the moments in it just ring false for me, and I just wasn't buying it.
I'm fine if someone likes scatological humor.
Jenny Slate lives and breathes scatological humor.
Yeah, and that's basically every other second she's making poop jokes or fart jokes or whatever, and it's like, I know it's supposed to demonstrate the fact that she's not ready to have a baby, but really, what is the greatest poop joke of all time? A baby. A baby is. Just, this big pooping machine. Every 2 hours, here's your next delivery.
Your next joke.
So that's Seen It.
And that's our show. Thanks for watching Car Wash with us. We hope you didn't get too wet. If you did, you'll dry off soon enough. Go check out our website. Go do the things that were mentioned before. And join us next time where we'll be watching another movie. Craig won't know what it is. I will. I'm going to surprise him. That's the premise of our show. Good night.
Good night.
I couldn't be more enthusiastic about car washes than I am right now.
I can't be more enthusiastic about closing credits than I am right now.
Well, hello. Look who's joined us.
You want to get down, you got to get up.